Yowza! Would you look at all that algae? It's everywhere. Even on the sides of the walls and down in the corners and everywhere. Even on the back wall, even though you guys can't see it. It is a mess in there. Man, my tank looks like dirt right now, dude. Just disgusting, but that's okay, because I know of a way that I can make it look pristine and beautiful again. And that's called the 3 Days of Darkness. And I'm going to take you on a journey and show you exactly what I do. We are about to start 3 Days of Darkness, and the first part in my routine is to shut off my lights for 3 days. You probably saw that a little bit earlier. I showed you my tank. It's pretty dirty and pretty dark. Darkness, step 1. But step 2 is 40% water changes over 3 days. So we're going to start that up. And for my 20 gallon, that is about 8 gallons a day. And luckily I showed you guys the other day how to use an RODI unit. And now we're going to whip out our RODI and throw down that red tube in the sink, blue tube in a bucket, and turn it on. So that's going to be filling up for a while. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to watch that, cool. I'm going to go watch some YouTube. So, see you in a bit.
A few moments later.
So, I actually forgot about the water for a second, and it kind of made a mess on the floor. I'm going to show you a sec. Yeah, there's a bit of water everywhere. But, I'm filling up another bucket. I do like to take a TDS meter, and I do like to check my water. And this is coming out at about 2 TDS, or 2 parts per million. This is a bucket full of water. I got one over there in the corner, and I'm going to start filling it up. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my heater and a power head to this. That's the brand of salt I use. Instant Ocean Reef Crystals. It's pretty good. We're gonna pop the lid off of this bad boy. And voila. There's not a whole lot of salt in this anymore. We're gonna measure out 1 cup first. 1 cup almost perfectly. And we're gonna take it over here and we're gonna dump it in the bucket. And now we need 1 more. And there we go. And now, I just gotta stand up a second. I'm gonna move this thing over into this corner. And we're gonna drop a heater and an old power head into the bucket. And we're going to plug them in, and in about an hour I'll have 4 gallons of water ready. So these are 2 different salt buckets. This one's been mixing for about an hour, and this one's about to be mixed for an hour. And you can totally tell the difference in clarity even in this low light. first things first, we're going to go ahead and clean off this glass a bit, and I'm going to show you how I do that. The old card that I used to scrape glass with mostly. It's really good for film algaes, like what I got down here. And it's also really good on hard encrusted algae on glass, like coralline on glass. This is what I use, just regular handy dandy toothbrush. I use that for scraping down edges. And then I use these. Just old paintbrushes. Well, not old paintbrushes, but they're oldish now. I'm going to use those for getting most of my rock work done. A quick cool thing I want to show you guys is actually you can look at how high your phosphates levels are by just looking at your water. If it's really yellow as it's going down the drain, it means there's a lot of phosphates in it. So let's check my water quick. Doesn't look too yellow to me. Oh, just a little bit. Just not a whole lot. And that's still not good. That's probably one of the causes to my algae right there. Is all of that nasty. Luckily it's going down the drain though, and I got it out of my tank. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Day 2.
Scrub on the inside. And we're going to take out as much little luke as we can. It also helps when you have a quarantine system, or a quarantine tank up, that you can splash some water on them every now and again. Especially when you're taking them in and out of water constantly. Oh yeah. What I like to do is just push it straight through them, right underneath, and just push a little bit, and I don't know if you can see all that nasty, but I got a lot of gross stuff out of there. Keep going. I'm going to do more on that one in a little bit, but right now I want to hit up this other one. Alright, so that is a colony of GSP. And it's got a little bit of bubble algae on it. So for bubble algae, we're going to I usually take a card, and I just get right up underneath it, and we pluck it right off. So, if you can see, I got it all off in one swoop. And we're going to take, I usually like to use brushes like that are a little wider at the end, and dip them in your QT water. And for these ones, they've got a little bit of slime algae on them. So what I'm going to do is I like to just run it through them. And just sort of paint on them with water. And what that helps to do is loosen up everything. And then we're going to take our good old algae friend, a toothbrush, and we're just going to scrub all over it. Which is okay for GSP because it doesn't have palytoxin, so it can't really hurt you. Figured out that I haven't actually told you what 3 Days of Darkness actually is. It's a process that I like to use where I shut off my lights for 3 days. I do 40% water changes every day. I clean my filtration, my pumps, my heaters, anything inside the tank that could have algae growing on it. That includes rocks. I also perform maintenance and such, like taking out filter media and replacing carbon, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's basically the process. It's a lot of work in 3 days, but the 4th day when you turn on your lights, your tank looks hands down better every time.
Eventually.
So I'm back. Unfortunately, I forgot to film last night, but as you can see, everything is all coming out and looking amazing. Yeah.